What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about how Plarium seemingly cannot do anything positive without following it up with something negative. First, let's go over the good news for you guys. And basically what's happening is that Plarium acknowledged that the event dungeon was too difficult. So the event dungeon here is ongoing. We have a dungeon event going on for this. And it looks like they acknowledged that it was too difficult. So they're rebalancing the difficulties between stages 21 and 30. I mean, that's great. That's a good start, right? Apparently, they reduced the HP of the boss as well as the Volcanos wave. So Volcanos was actually one of the super tankiest minions in this group. And then, of course, Karosa as well. So both the HPs were reduced. And the biggest change was actually the Ward of the Fallen blessing on Karosa was changed to Brimstone. Now, this is a lot less incoming damage against you once you reach her second stage or once you kill off some of the minions, because the Ward of the Fallen, the damage was scaling off of her attack. And yeah, those little skeleton dudes were just doing tons and tons of damage. Now, this wouldn't have been noticeable unless you reached level 30 when those skeletons start popping off. But prior to that, there was no little skeletons. Anyways, hopefully with these changes, the event dungeon becomes a lot easier for people to climb up so you guys can get some better drop rates and farm some higher levels as you guys are progressing. We are only, less than a month left for this whole event dungeon thing. So it's a little bit on the late side, but I guess it's better than nothing. Either way, that is the good news. So here is the kind of not so great news. They did make some changes to the advanced quest, which is a good thing, but then they did not give us very good options for the quest swapping options. So you can kind of see here the subpool 1 and subpool 2. So basically, once you have the option to change them out, you can only swap within their subpools. So you're not getting very good options here. And if Plarium wanted to give us like easier advanced quests, like they could definitely do so, but instead they're giving us equally, if not more difficult advanced quests as well to sub in. But of course, if you don't want to use your Hydra key like that day, you can, try to win 3 arena battles or wait for the scheduling block if it's convenient for you, or you can spend, minimum 75 energy up to 100 energy in Sand Devil. And that's subpool 1. It's just not the best, right? Like you're subbing out, yes, hard advanced quests, but you're putting in advanced quests that are equally not very, they're not very considerate of the player, I think. And they're considerably more harder than the other advanced quests. Anyways, this was a bit of a miss on their part here. All right, and here is the most recent news brought to you guys by Plarium a couple hours ago. Now, this is probably their biggest miss. So what they're saying here is that there's a 2x chance to summon legendary events from Sacred Shards. That's normal. That's during the champion chase this weekend. It's going to feature a 10x on Balor the Lost. Now, Balor the Lost is actually a pretty good champion. He's from the Sylvan Watchers, and he has a lot of tools in his kit that gives you options to basically defeat some of the Chimera trials, like decreased resistance. He also brings poison sensitivity, as well as poisons and leech. So he brings a lot of tools to handle the trials, which is pretty cool. He's on a 10x, which is, pretty low chance of getting him anyways. It's probably like about 5% chance of getting him. But hey, he's offered. I think he's probably still going to be offered somewhere down the line. There's going to be more focus on him in the next 2 or 3 weeks, probably, since he didn't get as much love as Raycos in the earlier couple weeks. But the biggest miss from all this is that Plarium is putting Titus's 5-star soul in a winner-take-all champion chase event for this weekend. Now, this weekend is not a great weekend to rack up points. It's a 2x legendary boost on Sacred Shards, which doesn't give you a big boost on the Sacred Shards. It's not really the best use of them. So it's going to be really hard to score really, really high in that champion chase. And the 5-star soul for Titus, I think, is a direct response to how well he has been doing and how well the public has kind of received the champion. Because instead of putting his soul in a hero's path where everyone can kind of participate and get him, or a Titan event where everyone can, participate and get him, instead they are putting it in a winner take all 5-star, soul for him. in a champion chase, which is basically one of the biggest whale events. You just buy shards and open them. It's very simple and all that, right? It just comes down to how many shards and resources you have. So I think this is probably their biggest miss. I think it would have been really good to basically offer like Titus as a fusion to everybody, which is a very, very strong meta fusion champion for everybody, for Chimera, Hydra, clan boss. And then give everybody the option to go for him in a hero's path or a Titan event, and then everyone can have, you know, a jacked up Titus and, you know, progress through the game, doing crazy damage and all that stuff. That would have been pretty cool, right? Just to give, you know, everyone a new benchmark. But now the 5-star soul is actually, you know, going to be winner take all. Not everybody's going to get him, and the 5-star soul really, really helps, right? Really helps Titus. Titus build out some resistance in his build, because he's going to be built like as a damage dealer with resistance most likely. So the extra crit damage, the extra resistance is going to be really helpful, as well as you got a big blessing to do more damage or to build the 5-star into a 6-star. It would be that much easier for you. So I think putting his soul in a champion chase winner take all is a really, really big miss. But you know what? That kind of begs the question of what will happen after this fusion event. Usually there's a Titan event following the fusion event, and because Titus was, you know, basically highly regarded, we were expecting maybe a Titan event for his soul, which would have been, you know, probably heavily participated in because he's such a good champion, and then you want to build him up and invest more in him. But in this case, it begs the question, what will happen after the fusion? Is there still going to be a Titan event? I know from, you know, our developer roundtable meeting behind closed doors or whatever, that they did mention something fun was going to happen in August after this whole Karosa event dungeon ends. So maybe it's going to be something totally different. Now, somebody else brought up something that would have been kind of interesting, is that maybe before the whole Karosa event ends, they might do a Titan event for the very, very sought after Crown of Corruption. That would be interesting. If the Crown of Corruption was offered up as the end prize for a Titan event after Titus, but before the end of the Karosa events, of course, that'll be very interesting, because I think if that happened, this would kind of alleviate some of the kind of stress of people trying to get this relic. And obviously this would be the biggest prize. So if you guys didn't know that this relic is ridiculously powerful, the wearer deals 5% more damage and receives 5% speed when above 50% HP. So basically when your team starts off the fight, it gets an additional 5% speed. Now this 5% speed is actually based off of total speed, not the base speed, which seems a little bit inconsistent, but that's also what makes it kind of busted. So if you have a 400 speed booster, you know, you're looking at 20 speed from this relic, which is pretty insane, right? You don't get any speed bonuses here from the base stats, but just that 5% is very, very huge. It's a big difference maker. Now, if this was the main prize in a Titan event, like, it would definitely be a game-changing relic, and something I think a lot of people would participate in, and I think Plarium would get a lot of engagement for that. So if they were planning for that, fine. If they were planning for that, fine. Give the soul in the champion chase. I much rather would have preferred a champion chase in a hero's path. That's kind of what I was thinking. Champion chase. Winner take all for his soul seems, like I said, pretty bad, and definitely a miss for his soul. Anyways, lastly, a quick look here at the calendar for the remaining events for the fusion. It's unlikely that any kind of Titan overlap will happen. This kind of doesn't make sense if the champion chase is obviously a couple days, would have ended a couple days before the end of the fusion. Usually it makes more sense if the champion chase ends at the end of the fusion, then a Titan event can overlap, because putting Titan event points in a champion chase is probably the nastiest thing Plarium can do to us. But in this case, it doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of overlap if there was a Titan event, which does not seem likely. However, keep in mind that this Chaos Awakes event will last, you know, basically until the end of July. So there's still, you know, 2 weeks left here, and we haven't seen any kind of exclusive event for Balar yet. And I'm still thinking that there might still be something for Karosa. Maybe another 10x probably for Karosa. Honestly, I was thinking Karosa would have been a interesting winner take all champion chase type of prize. as the first mythical champion being offered in that level of tournament. But you know, being a mythical, I think they're probably not likely to do that. But wouldn't it be something if they offered her up in a way where people can participate and get her somehow? That would be a win, but unfortunately, Plarium not known for many wins nowadays. Anyways, guys, you guys are caught up with everything here. So just to recap real quick, there's Balor the Lost 10x for the Champion Chase this weekend. It's a 2x sacred event as noted before, and the winner take all will get Titus's 5-star soul on the weekend. Best of luck moving forward. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.